What's up guys, Ryan here from Mudgunner, and today we're going to be talking about the main red dots that I use on my pistols. Now, you guys probably see on my channel I post a lot of rifle stuff. I feel like a lot of higher end rifle stuff, and I'm big into like rifle optics and everything. But when it comes to pistols, I'm actually very like small. Now, this is still a good amount of stuff, but I really don't have that many pistols with red dots on there. I am much more of a rifle guy than a pistol guy, but that is completely okay. So we all have our main hobbies, but I do like pistols, and I would say my main one that I use is the Trijicon RMR. I use these on both pistols and rifles, and I think I have an equal amount on rifles as pistols, which is kind of funny. But I saw that Aimpoint and Glock today came out with their new collaboration, which is pretty cool. It's the COA. I don't know what that stands for yet, but it's a enclosed emitter red dot side, the side axis for the battery, which is pretty cool. And I mean, it seems like a cool design. It's a whole new mounting system, so it's kind of a proprietary design. Now, I've already seen like memes on Instagram and everything. People always either love a new product or they hate it before they even get any experience on it. And I know a new mounting system is annoying, but I feel like you just keep trying new things until you find something that sticks. Now, obviously, the RMR is like a gold standard, and a lot of these other red dot mounts are gold standards, but I don't hate on companies for trying new things because maybe it is better in the long run, but we don't know until we get more time on it. So yeah, I just figured since I'd never post anything pistol related anyways, I'll talk about the red dots that I use. So I use Trijicon RMRs for the most part, and the main one I use is the 3 1/4 MOA, and I like the buttons. So this is like the Type 2 with the buttons. I'm not a fan of like without buttons like this. It's not my preference. So I've had these where there's no buttons, it's just on 24/7. I've had the ones with the fiber optic built in too, and it's on 24/7. But I just prefer the option of having buttons. Now, even though there's buttons where you can turn it on and off, adjust the brightness and all that, I leave my self-defense ones on 24/7. If they're in the safe, I do turn them off though, because I just want to make the batteries last longer. So yeah, RMR is my go-to. Now, as far as like mounting them on guns, you'll notice I have it on a 34 here. Now, the sights do not co-witness now because I need suppressor sights. That's the downside with a non-direct cut red dot, because they sit taller than your iron sights. You'll notice on here there is a plate and then the RMR, and there's even a spacer in there as like a battery seal plate that you're supposed to use. But yeah, it puts it too high. I'm not a big fan of the suppressor height sights that'll also allow you to co-witness with your red dots. I just don't feel like I'm as accurate with suppressor sights than I am with standard sights. So on this one, I didn't even bother. Now the downside is if the battery dies, I cannot use my iron sights because they are too low. But that's why my main gun is this one right here, and I have it in a holster. This is chambered, but this is my Shadow Systems. The gun from the factory is basically direct cut for a lot of things. You don't need a mount. They basically have a spacer, which I think mine's old enough I didn't need a spacer because this is an MR 918. They're on the 920 now. So I know I've mounted like modern ones on the 920s, but mine does not have a spacer here. It's just direct mounted. And what's cool about that, their sights sit a little bit taller. They're not true like suppressor sights, but they sit tall enough that you can co-witness your iron sights through the red dot, which I think is pretty cool. And I just naturally shoot this. Like I naturally shoot this better than this. This is a Glock 19 size Shadow Systems versus my 34. I will shoot this better than that. So I think that's kind of cool. And we just find those guns that we naturally shoot good. So yeah, I've ran the RMR on here for years. This RMR has about 11,000 rounds on it on this gun. Same with the Streamlight. I actually took, where'd I put it? So I took this Streamlight off. This is the one that was originally on there because the battery's dying, but it still works. So see how dim that is? So that was what was on my Shadow Systems, but this is a fresh one. So yeah, this Streamlight has about 11,000 rounds on it too. I don't know if that's just the battery or if the light is actually dying. The lens is also a little dirty, but I wiped the lens down too. But yeah, since it's that low as far as lumens goes, and it's my main carry on that Shadow Systems, that's why I swapped it. But I would have preferred that color on there. Now this one is a Glock 19 Gen 5 MOS, so I think it's very important to be able to shoot a stock gun. So I keep this gun bone stock. It does have some grip tape in the light, but internally it's bone stock. It is MOS cut, so I can add a red dot, but I just want to keep it as a base gun so I can always shoot stock Glock, basically stock sights, stock trigger, stock everything. I think it's good to be able to shoot that, and I like using this as just a training gun so that, you know, I can stay proficient with iron sights. But yeah, as far as other ones with RMRs, like I don't have a huge pistol collection with red dots. At some point, I'd like to get like a 2011 style pistol and do a red dot on there, but I'm just not there yet. This one's pretty cool. I actually don't shoot this very often because I don't have a holster for it. That's the one downside, is like direct holsters for this stuff is like a couple $100, like this Safariland ALS, this was a few $100s, or it was like, I think it was about $250 to get it mounted to my belt, my battle belt setup. So yeah, they're just pricey. So that's why I don't run this, but this is a great pistol. It's a Smith & Wesson MMP9 Pro Core Series, and it's optics cut, comes with the suppressor sights. I have a Streamlight. I forget what they call this, but it's the IR one. The TLR VIR2. But yeah, it's got a visible light and then a IR light. So yeah, vis light, and then there's a switch over here for IR. But I don't have a holster for it, that's why I don't use it very often. But my goal with this would be to do like a night vision pistol. I just need to get a holster. But it's got a Wilson combat threaded barrel, apex trigger, and then also the Trijicon RMR. And you can co-witness the sights with this. So great gun, I love it. I just don't have a holster. And then what else do we got? I'll show this one real fast. This is not an RMR. This is my one outlier as far as red dots on pistols. This is basically a SIG build that I got through the shop I work at. This one has a primary arms red dot on there. I don't know what model. It doesn't even say what model, but it came with the gun. It shoots pretty accurate. Is it better than my RMR? I don't shoot this gun as well, but it is cool. It's a little bit more finicky with ammo since it has the comp, so I'm not like a super fan of comp guns, but this and my Glock 17C are the only two I have, so I like the built-in comp on the 17C. But yeah, the primary arms red dot seems pretty nice. I can still use my iron sights with this setup too, because it's direct mounted on the slide, so I think that's cool. I'm definitely a fan of direct mounting things versus putting a plate on there, because it just makes them taller. And then this is another cool one that came through the store I work at. This one's also chambered. So I'm not a fan of the gun as much because of the size. This is a Glock 43. Now what I'm a fan of is this 43 was decked out by Langdon Tactical here in Arizona. They did trigger work on it. They did like just a undercut on this frame here, laser engraving on the top. They direct cut it for an RMR CC, so the smaller Trijicon red dot. It's also got iron sights in the RMR, which is really cool. So yeah, this was a cool setup. My issue with this, and I've done it in previous videos, when I'm shooting this and I have to reload, I have to fully let go of my pinky in order to drop the mag, because when I just press the button and the mag touches my hand and it gets stuck in there, and I have to manually rip it out, which is kind of annoying. So size-wise, I would do better with like a 43X, but that's not any fault to Trijicon or Glock or anything. It's just it's small. So great gun, I like it. Goes in this tier 1 concealed holster very nicely, but yeah, I'm a big fan of the RMR. Now, some people's complaints with this, so there's closed emitter versus open emitter. Closed emitter is basically you have two windows, one on the front and one on the back, so it's like a little mailbox. You'll hear that on like the aimpoint acros. They're a big red dot, they look like a mailbox. The downside with the open emitters is it collects dust, but is that really an issue? I don't think so. I carry appendix and I have it built in my head like once a day or once a week, it doesn't matter. I will basically rub the RMR with my shirt while I'm holding it, like carrying it, and I don't see it being an issue, guys. I've never drawn this gun while shooting at matches or in the desert or just running drills. I've never drawn this gun and not been able to see my target even through a dirty glass. Now, have I shot with dirty glass on these? Yes, but I was able to hit the target, and I don't think it's a big deal. Now, if you completely neglect it, sure, it could be, but yeah, with these, I don't see it being an issue. What people like about those closed emitter ones where you have two panes of glass is it's fully sealed and it does not pick up the lint, any dust, anything like that as much. Same thing with like a duty holster. The reason why I have this is for my battle belt. So this goes in here nicely, and then I put this cover on, and I would say for the most part, I don't have issues with like debris going in there and blocking the window on the RMR. When you draw it, it opens up. But yeah, and these are removable too. You just pop this off and take this off if you want. But yeah, I am a fan of the RMR, and I don't feel like I've really had any issues with it being unusable because of dirt or dust. And then wiping it with my shirt, there's no scratch. If I really paid attention, there might be like microscopic scratches, but there's nothing that is impeding my vision looking through any of my red dots. And then, so that's my battle belt holster for it, and then this is my concealed carry holster for it. So this is how I carry it. And yeah, I don't really have any issues with it being an open emitter red dot. So yeah, I think that's all I got for you guys. But that new COA from Aimpoint and Glock, that collaboration, that'll be kind of cool. I'd like to try one if I did it. Honestly, I think it would look good on the 19. So I still have this goal to collect a lot of different guns with red dots and try different things because I like trying new things. I think I'd want to do like a Glock 45 with an aimpoint acro, which is the big red dot, get a Glock 19 with that new COA. I've got to shoot the Trijicon RCR, which is like their enclosed red dot. I don't feel like that one picked up as much hype. I don't know why, but I have very limited time on it. So other thing, like EOTech did their red dot, that one didn't pick up too much either. But yeah, I'm always down to try new things. So I think that COA looks cool, but I'm still a fan of the Trijicon RMR, and I don't see these ever being phased out anytime soon. The Trijicon RMR is like the Glock 19 of red dots, in my opinion. So hopefully this was helpful. Let me know what you guys think about red dots versus iron sights. I do think it's still very, very important to be able to shoot iron sights, especially a stock gun. Like if you run a lot of like race gun style, and this isn't even like a race gun, but if you run a lot of super high-end handguns, I do think it's still important to be able to shoot a basic $500 handgun. So same thing with rifles. If you have a $5,000 rifle, I think it's good to be able to shoot a $500 rifle. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next video.